Okay, this is our review for Chapter 2. Test. A couple of things that you're going to need to know are some words and what they represent. So, representing negatives, I'll just write it up here real quick. A couple words that mean negatives are loss. So, if you had a loss of yards, that's a negative. So, if you had a loss of 5 yards, it would be negative 5. Um, Below sea level. So if you are below sea level, that's a negative. Withdrawal. If you take away money, like if you take money out of your checking account or savings account, that's a withdrawal. That's taking away money. That's a negative. Debit. A debit is taking out money to pay like a bill or something. So a debit to your account would be a negative. Positives then are words like, just get a different marker. So positives are words like credit. So if you have a credit to your account, that means that you're adding money. A gain, so like in football, if you gain 5 yards, that's a positive. Deposit, so that means that you're putting money into your account. If you had a paycheck, you would deposit the paycheck. And finally, something like above sea level. So if you're above sea level, like a mountain, that's a positive. So obviously that's positive. Okay, a couple other things that we're going to need are, let's look at the number line. So if I look at the number line, you should know that the number line, so we have 0 right here in the middle. To the right are positive numbers, to the left are negative numbers of 0. So the further to the left you go, the smaller the number. The further to the right you go, the bigger the number. So you'll need to know that. You'll need to know how to draw a number line. So right below here, that's a horizontal number line right there. So if you need to draw a vertical number line will go up and down like that. And remember, mountain goes up, so the bigger numbers go up. So positive numbers are going to go higher. Negative numbers are going to go lower like that. Let me just clear the slides. You're also going to need to know the absolute value. So let's say I have absolute value and I'm comparing two numbers. Let's say I have the absolute value of negative 5, absolute value of 4. Well, you would think 4 is bigger, but technically it's not in this sense, because in this situation, because this is absolute value. So absolute value of negative 5 would be 5. Absolute value of 4 is 4. So 5 is greater than 4. You'll need to know that in absolute value. You'll also need to know how to place numbers in order. So if I gave you some different numbers like this, you'll need to know how to put them in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. So if I did this from least to greatest, the smallest number is negative 4. The next is negative 1, then 0, and then 3 would be the biggest number. So then you can see how I made the inequalities. So it's negative 4 is less than negative 1, negative 1 is less than 0, 0 is less than 3. So you need to know how to do that. You'll also need to know by looking at different charts and looking at the charts and figuring out what's the lowest, maybe like temperature versus the highest temperature. So again, it's just comparing numbers and putting them in order. So not too bad. Last thing is just know opposites, basically. So if you know opposites like negative, oops, that's not a good marker. So if you know like maybe negative 100, the opposite of negative 100 is 100. So you need to know that. And one last thing that you really need to know is make sure you understand what a deposit is. Make sure you understand withdrawal. And the other word that I forgot to say is balance. So if you have the balance of your account is like the equal sign. Deposit means you're adding money. Withdrawal means you're taking away money. And the balance then is whatever you have left. So make sure you understand that. Okay? Make sure, one last thing is go over the review that I gave you and watch this. You're watching this video, obviously, so you should be fine.